out there, this is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 20 Ultimate Team video. Today we're going to be talking about, in detail, Superstar XFactors and Abilities. I want to clear up all the confusion because I'm still seeing a lot of confusion throughout the community, whether it's Twitch, on Twitter, on Mutthead. People still don't understand how these things work, so I figured I'm going to make one video that's going to cover everything, and we're going to use this as like an ultimate guide on Superstar XFactors and Abilities. So I know some of you guys might know this stuff already, but a lot of newer players and a lot of people who aren't really familiar with Madden Ultimate Team, and let's face it, this whole X Factor thing is new to us as well. A lot of you guys have been coming to my channel over the last week, and thank you guys so much for subscribing. And a lot of beginner questions have been coming to me, so I want to make sure that I answer them, and I think this is going to cater to more of you that maybe just started playing the game mode, or again, just unclear with what's going on. So we're going to cover a lot of different things, but if you have any questions, or if I get too confusing, or start rambling, or getting off subject, if you got any questions that I don't answer, down below in the comment section, make sure you ask them there. I will be sure to read through the comment section on this video and go over everything. So I'm going to start this video by going over to my lineup screen, and we're going to show you a couple different things, specifically on abilities versus X Factors, how to activate them, how to make sure they're activated. Let's do it. Okay, we're going to talk about power-ups as well. We're going to talk about cards that come with abilities and X Factors. We're going to do it all, like I said. So we're in our lineup screen right now, and we're just going to focus right on my quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. So if we take a look at this card, we do know that he has abilities on him, and you can tell that by looking to the left of the card. So you see those three little icons. Those are abilities. If you look under his overall, under his position, so under the 90, under the QB, you see another little icon. That's an X Factor. What are the difference? X Factors are things that trigger via in-game situations. So you meet a certain criteria, and we'll show that in-game in a moment. You activate this ability, or this X Factor, I should say. Once that X Factor is activated, it can be deactivated depending on, a certain criteria as well, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Abilities, on the other hand, which are also known as passives throughout the community, are abilities that are always active. They're always things that are going to kick into the game, but they also must be activated in your lineup to be activated in the game. So the biggest common misconception that I'm still seeing a week or two into the game is that you can put abilities on all of your cards and they're all going to be in the game. That's not how it works. So in years past, we had what were called red chems. They were abilities that you could literally put on any card. You could put them on your quarterback, your wide receivers, your offensive line, tight end, your whole defense, and they would all bring them into the game. So if you had playmaker on 3 wide receivers and you had secure tackler on your whole defense, when you played a game, they would all be in the game with you. It's different this year. Right now, you only get 3 on each side of the ball. So you only get 3 Superstar X Factors and Abilities on offense and 3 on defense. That number may change when we get later on in the year and cards become better and stats become better and cards become more loaded and more options are unlocked. I also want to focus on this card. If you look under the 90, then the QB, then that X Factor, there's also a 3 under that. That means this is a tier 3 card. That means he can get 3 abilities, hence the 3 icons on the left side of the card. If you're confused on what those are, or if you just want to read about it, if you tab over here to the description, you're going to see his X Factor is Bazooka, his tier 1 ability is Safety Valve, his tier 2 ability is Anchored Extender, and his tier 3 ability is Red Zone Deadeye. You might be confused on what those things mean. Don't worry, we're going to show you how to activate it. So let's go back over to our lineup screen. And we have Mahomes in our lineup, right? So some of you might think that means he's activated. That is incorrect. You want to make sure you go over to the right part of your screen, and under Superstar X Factors, you see it's 0 out of 3 because we have 3 options on offense to choose. If we quickly tab over to our defense, you're going to see also 0 out of 3 on defense. We'll come back to that in a moment. Let's go back to Mahomes. So to make sure that his ability is activated in-game, you're going to have to activate him on your lineup screen. So we're going to hit X. Now, if I had more guys on my roster, it would give me more options to choose from. Right now, Mahomes is the only one to choose from, so we're just going to go ahead and select him. If you look to the right, Bazooka, max throwing distance increased by 15 yards. So that's the X factor. That's the in-game criteria. If you meet an in-game criteria, that will activate. Under that are the 3 abilities: Red Zone Deadeye, Safety Valve, Anchored Extender. It gives you a description on what those mean, and you'll see that for every card. So we're going to go ahead and just simply press our X button. It's going to ask you, do you want to activate them? We're going to hit X again. That would be the A button on Xbox. And now we can see, if we look, it's showing 1 out of 3 Superstar X Factors. So I do have another one on my team, but I kind of want to focus on power-ups versus cards that come with abilities and X Factors towards the end of the video. So we'll get back to the offensive screen and show you what it looks like when you have more than one on the offense. If we go over to defense, once again, it's showing 0 out of 3. We're going to go ahead and click activate, and we have Anthony Barr. So he has shutdown. That's his X factor. Tighter coverage and more interceptions on contested catches. He still needs to do something in game to achieve that, to unlock that, for it to activate. What he doesn't need to do is to do anything in game to get Secure Tackler and Reach Elite to work. Those are his abilities, his passives. That's what we talked about. Once again, for these to come into the game, we have to select and activate him. Now we are good to go. So it shows both of these guys. We have Anthony Barr on our defense. We have Patrick Mahomes on our offense. So I want to take you in-game, just into a solo challenge, and show you what it looks like in-game when one of these guys are activated. Then we're going to deactivate them and go back into a game and show you then what it looks like. So here we are, loaded into an ultimate challenge with Patrick Mahomes selected as one of our 3 X Factors. He's really just one of our 1 X Factors because we didn't select the other 2. But I want to point out, if you look at the lower left part of your screen down there, it kind of proves to you that he's activated. It's showing you this on the screen. Now, in a moment, we're going to take him out of the lineup, and then we're going to come back into a solo and show how this will be missing. And this is a great way to tell if your X Factors are activated or not. So even if you're in your gameplay screen and you're ready to run a play, all you have to do is hold down the R2 button. On Xbox, it would be the right trigger button. And you can see, once again, down the lower left part of your screen, you're once again confirming that Patrick Mahomes is activated as your X Factor. So let's go back to our lineup screen, take him out, and then I'll show you guys how it just disappears. So we're now back into our lineup screen here. We're going to go and select Patrick Mahomes. We're going to hit our X button. We're going to go back to the screen. We're going to hit X one more time, and now we're going to deactivate him. We'll leave Anthony Barr on the team because we're just going to show Mahomes for now. But now he's still in our lineup. He still can play, but he's not our X Factor in our lineup screen. So I'm going to jump into another solo now and show you guys how it looks different versus when he's activated. So here we are back again in the same exact solo, and if you look now with Patrick Mahomes deactivated as our X Factor, there's no icon in the bottom left of our screen. It's gone. It's totally disappeared. So this is a great way to tell if you have activated. If we once again hit our R2 button and zoom out, it's also not showing there. Mahomes is our quarterback. He's in our lineup. He's active as a player, but you see no abilities, no X Factor, no information. So it's very important that you guys activate those 3 players. And then again, this just also shows that in order to get those abilities, not just that X Factor, not just that, that criteria meeting goal of thing, I almost call it an ability. I want to separate the 2. In order to get those abilities, they don't work like Red Chems from last year. You must have them activated as one of your 3. And again, I hope that really clears up some confusion on that. So let's move on. And now I just want to talk about power-ups versus cards that come with abilities and X Factors already on there. So the MUT Superstars program in MUT 20 was the first one that introduced cards that come with abilities and X Factors right away. So this is something that I thought would probably happen. I didn't think it would happen this soon, but it's pretty cool. So this allows you to not have to use training on your power-ups and maybe test out some of these abilities and X Factors in game first before you really dedicate that training on a power-up or on a card that you might want to be using long-term. And again, because you can only activate 3 on each side of the ball right now, you want to use those things carefully. You want to spend your training carefully. You don't want to just go, activating abilities all willy-nilly and going crazy, because you might find that one works better than the other, and you can't get a lot of that training back once you use it. So be careful there. But if you look at these 3 cards, these are all Elite MUT Superstar cards. And again, this is just the first program, so I'm sure that we're going to see a lot more of these as the year goes on. I'm positive. I'm not even sure. I'm positive. So if we take a look at a card like Zach Ertz, once again, we see that he has his X Factor. That's the badge-looking item that's under his overall in his position on the right-hand side. Under that, we see the 3, meaning he has 3 abilities. He's a tier 3. And then on the left, we see those 3 different abilities. If we tab over to the description, we can see that his X Factor is max security. And I want you to remember this. His tier 1 ability is in specialist, tier 2 is red zone threat, and tier 3 is matchup nightmare. Okay, so if we were to put him in our lineup and activate him like we did with Mahomes, like we did with Anthony Barr, those things would then carry on into the game. But something else that you can do is power-ups. So if we go over to our tight end here and we select Zach Ertz power-up, you see this card has nothing on it right now. But if we go to upgrade and we take a look, we can add on an X Factor here. So we have Double Me, Rack 'em Up, or Max Security. Remember, the Superstar card strictly came with Max Security. You had no choice at all. That's the card, or that's the ability, sorry, that's the X Factor that it comes with. The choice is not yours. The choice was EA's. But if you want to use him through the power-up system, you can then go ahead and select one of these. Of course, it's going to cost you some training. Same with abilities. Now, this particular card only has 2 unlocked. But we have tier 1 abilities, and this is going to give us clutch, indoor baller, homer, slant specialist, in specialist. Remember, that card that we looked at, his superstar card, did have in specialist. But I don't believe it had any of these. I think it may have had slant specialist. If we go to the tier 2, we have more options, because tier 2 gives you more options. Streak specialist, cross, red zone threat was on that card that we looked at. Cross specialist, streak specialist were not. Post was not either. So you have more customization with the power-ups. Now we're going to go ahead and upgrade this card, and we're going to add that Superstars card to the power-up to get him now to a 90 overall. So this card was an 89 with all of these pre-made determined things. X Factor predetermined, 3 abilities predetermined. We're going to go ahead and power him up. So not only does that get him to a 90 overall, you now have 3 abilities that you can choose from. And if you look at the tier 3, you have in-out elite, matchup nightmare, TE apprentice, streak specialist, double move elite. You have so many more options that you did not have with that just base MUT Superstar card. So the MUT Superstar card is really nice because it comes with abilities, and all you have to do is buy the card or earn the card, get the card however you get it, right? But you don't have to spend any training on any of those abilities and X Factors, but you are limited, so you can't pick what you want. With the power-up, you can pick what you want. It's going to cost you training, but the power is yours. If you look at his X Factors, those are still the same, and that's probably just because he doesn't meet certain thresholds as far as his overall or certain stats go. We're not going to really dive into that too much as far as like what's unlocked, because there's a whole spreadsheet. I will post the link down below in the description if you want to check it out for yourself, but there's an entire spreadsheet that EA sent out or put on this website for us to view. So if you want to see, you know, like what stats you need and what overall you need at what position and what archetype to unlock certain abilities and X Factors, you know, you could read through that. But I really wanted to focus on the difference between a card that comes with abilities and X Factors versus a power-up, how you get to select those yourself, and then also really wanted to focus on the fact that abilities only go into a game if you have them selected as one of your 3 X Factors on offense or 3 X Factors on defense. So I hope that cleared it up. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got a gameplay video coming out later today. 2 videos today. This is one of 2. Thank you guys, man, so much. I'm Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.